All right, interesting topic for the day, which is to borrow or not to borrow. That is the question. So, interest rates are on the rise. Mortgage rates are approaching 7%. Fed is going to keep raising rates until they get inflation under control. And so the question of the day for me and for lots of people these days is now still an environment that they should be borrowing in? So here are my thoughts. I have about a dozen of them or so that would lead me to one way or the other. First of all, in general, I still think rates are low enough or high enough, any way you want to look, that they're still below what long-term stock market should do. 6-ish%, even 7. To me, I'd rather use someone else's money until it gets a bit higher. And so, in general, I'm still a fan of borrowing. Of course, if it's wild debt, credit card debt, things of that nature, of course not. But for things that are more manageable, I'm still, in general, more in that camp than not. So that's my first thing. What impact does borrowing have on you? Is it the difference between affording something or not? That matters. Is it something you need versus you want? Well, that also matters. Maybe it makes sense to wait on certain things these days. But if it's something you need to do, then there's a real discussion to be had. If it's something that can maybe wait for rates to adjust or markets to rebound, it may make sense. Which leads me to opportunity cost. So to me, the value of liquidity is still paramount. I prefer using someone else's money, keeping my money liquid, especially if I can replace it and pay down a debt if I need to, if things get tough. I like having that cash on hand. Next thing to consider is how long we have this note. Is it a 30-year mortgage? Borrow all day. How many times have you refinanced your last mortgage during rates coming down? Over 30 years, you'll have an opportunity to refinance that rate lower, and or you may not be in this house for 30 years. So why take dollars out of the markets or out of cash to put towards something when you simply will have an opportunity in the not too distant future to likely lower it anyways? To me, if it's a shorter borrowing period, it may make more sense to borrow, right? So if you have something that I'll replace it with year-end bonus, okay, maybe you should borrow. I think that's an instance where it makes sense. Also, a lower need. If it's something that, look, I can shed $20,000, $30,000 versus borrowing something that could make a lot of sense. If you have no other choice and you have to sell stocks or your investment account, think about bonds. You don't want to really sell stocks. Sell stocks low to buy bonds high, or buy something that you can use at a higher rate. I don't like that. I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to stocks will go back up and interest rates will come back down. So why lock in the loss and not take advantage of the opportunity that the rates will come down? So I like using sort of that arbitrage there and using rates. That said, bonds are down less than stocks, so consider using your bond portion versus stocks if you have to sell something. Internally, I'm looking at when rates hit 8%, if they hit 8%, that's where I would maybe reconsider things. I look at things more through a microscope, and it becomes real situational in that instance. So 8% is my internal clock to say, all right, now have a deep breath and see what you think in this situation, Andrew. I'm still going to revert back to a lot of the things I just stated, but that would be what really drives some decisions for me. Also, take the long view. Don't look short term. Don't look at just what's going to happen tomorrow. Think about the long-term effect of borrowing something or selling stocks potentially when they're down, and make the decision through that spectrum. And the final question that you should be asking is, can it wait? Is it something that you need to do now or not? Things will, again, revert back to their mean. And so if you can wait 3, 6, 9 months to do that home project or that redo that powder room, it may just make some sense. So these are all the things to consider. Read below. I put some more detail, and hopefully you learn something, or it can help you out personally. Anyways, I'm Andrew Rosen, President of Diversified. Stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay happy. Thanks.